Welcome to InfoWare. We're going to show you a little bit about smart car and connected car connectivity solutions. And today we have this beautiful VW Passat here, which is equipped with MirrorLink, and we're going to explain to you how this works. Come on in. Okay, now we're looking at MirrorLink in this car. VW has equipped all of its cars with the MirrorLink technology. And what MirrorLink does is basically it is a technology that we also find in remote desktop applications. It really, as the word implies and as the name implies, it mirrors the content of the smartphone's display to the car's display. So in order to connect the smartphone with the car, we need a cable. That is still required in this version of MirrorLink. You plug this in here. It's a little bit hidden away. Plug it into the smartphone, and if all works well, it asks me whether it should allow access of the car to the smartphone's data. And now there is this point here, App Connect. That's what it's called. The Volkswagen. Now it asks me, you can see it has all kinds of technologies, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and MirrorLink. So you need to choose the right device. This is our Samsung. Takes a little while. Smartphone's display is going blank, and here we go. Map trip is coming up beautifully on this huge screen, and I think it looks great. So here we have exactly what we have built for the smartphone on this display. You can see when I approach my hand, it pops up this control bar here. This is not part of our application, but this is rather part of MirrorLink. So I can say directly, okay, I want to go home, and whoops. Perfect. So we can slide it either way, use all the functionality that we have built into Map Trip. We can even do this, which I find very, very funny. There you can see it actually mirrors the content of the smartphone's display. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how this works in driving. Oh no! App is not available during driving. Well, this is one of the first and very important aspects about MirrorLink, and that is certification. As you can see, the app is there when we're stationary. When we're driving, it's not there. That is because the app in MirrorLink, the apps need to be certified in order to be used in the car. Now there are different levels of certification. The basic level is to have the app certified for use in a stationary car. I don't really understand what that's good for, but that's the way it is. Next level of certification is to allow the app to be used while driving. So that is obviously not the case here yet. And number 3 and 4 of the levels is certification for use in the USA and for Japan. We're going to go back to the developers, make sure this works in the car, and then we'll give it a second try. Okay, what I like very much about MirrorLink is that it's very quick to integrate in your application. It doesn't take a lot of work. It's quite straightforward to do. That is, if you know what you're doing. Because the challenge about MirrorLink is not so much the actual integration, doing it, but rather finding out what you need to do and how to do it, because the documentation is, let's say, it's a bit of a challenge to find the documents that are really relevant and all the tools you need. But once you know what you have to do, it's quite straightforward. It is quick, and it just does what I would expect from such an application or technology. It mirrors the application, the smartphone application, to the car's display, and it looks good. Another aspect, very important aspect of MirrorLink, is that the apps need to be certified to be used in the car. That means that your applications need to have good visibility. You need to respect some contrast ratios, colors that you're choosing, font sizes, the minimum size of controls that you're using on the display. They shouldn't be too small. So there are a number of rules that you need to know and that you need to respect when you're building an application for MirrorLink. You know, a lot of people don't like MirrorLink, and I don't really understand why that is so. Because to me, it works quite well. It's easy to integrate. Of course, there is one huge, big disadvantage and downside with MirrorLink. It only works with Android phones. It is not available for iOS, and even not all Android phones support it. So that is really a huge downside if you're considering which technology to support. You don't want to support a whole range of car connectivity solutions. You would rather have one, and that is a huge disadvantage. That it only supports only a handful or a number of smartphones support MirrorLink, only Android phones. So all in all, about MirrorLink is a technology that I like very much. It is quite easy to integrate. It looks good on the display. On the other hand, there's the certification process that is a little bit costly. It takes some effort, but I guess that's the way things need to be in the automotive industry. They're worried about driver distraction, and that's how they want to make sure that you're building an app that's actually very usable in the car. Then it's only available for Android and not all Android devices. That is a shame, and I don't really understand why that is so, because all in all, it's technology that I like very much.